In this vlog, we would like to deal with the implementation of elevated button in Flutter application. So you might have seen few buttons are being deprecated and new ones are being provided in the Flutter applications. So one of that is an elevated button, and now let us try to see how we can use the elevated button and what are all the properties that we can make use to customize it. So now let's try to import our material.dart so that we can use the packages available in this particular import. So let us specify void main, and inside which let us specify run app so that we can specify our class here. So my app, this is the default class which we consider every time. So stateless widget and specify my app over there. So I have clearly explained in our previous tutorial why we are considering my app every time here, and again I just want to explain you once again. So here inside the test folder widget underscore test, here you can see here my app is being specified here. So that's why the reason we are specifying my app every time, and you can also change it and it's not a big reason. And here instead of a container we need to return a material app here. So let's specify material app, and inside which we'll be now considering scaffold here. So here it is showing the properties of the material app, and these are all the things we can make use with the help of a material app here. And now let us specify scaffold. So this scaffold will provide the basic structure for our application. So using the scaffold you can just specify an app bar over here. So let us specify an app bar, and in this particular tutorial we are going to deal with an elevated button. So I'm just specifying the title to be elevated button itself, and now we need to specify the body here. So inside the body we can specify a container or a column or a row, but in this particular tutorial we are only going to deal with an elevated button. So I'm just going to specify a center tag inside which we will be having an elevated button, or else you can just specify an elevated button and can just wrap it inside the center tag as well. So as you wish, you can just go through it. So child, and here I'm going to consider this is the elevated button here, and every button will have two mandatory properties like on press, and one more is child here. So these two are the mandatory properties, and here why we use them is like child we used to specify the title, you may even call it like label in web development. So let us specify some text for it to be submit here, and you can just make it a constant over here, that's no issue. And here inside the on press what needs to be done when the user press on this particular button. So now let us try to run this particular code till now and see whether there are any errors. And here also you can just make it a constant inside the app bar. So here you can see our simulator is now opened up and everything is fine here. And inside the material app you can also just remove the debug show check banner to false here, so that this particular debug banner is removed. Yes, now so here we have got a submit button, and that is an elevated button over here. So now let's try to increase the elevation and see what are all the other properties we can make use inside this particular elevated button. And so before going to that, we have got on press here, right? So what does on press do? So let's specify a print statement here, and let's try to print on press here. So let's try to save. So in Mac you can just click on Command and S. It will automatically save the code, and once the code is saved, the output is been automatically reflected. And in the Windows, Control plus S, and whenever you try to save your code in Flutter, the code is being automatically reloaded into our simulator here. So we need not specifically tap on this particular reload button here. When you tap on this particular submit button here, you can see on press is been printed to our console. And also we have got one more option here, on long press here. So this is also just like on press here, but this will work only when you long press on the button. So here when you make single click, it's like on press, but when you prolong the click here, it's like on long press. So now it's clear, right? So on press and on long press, and here child is the label here. And what are all the other things we can do? So not only this particular widget elevated button, but whatever the widget may be in your Flutter application, you can get to know the properties of that particular widget by just hovering your mouse over on that particular widget, or you can just click on this particular widget here. So here you can just see the list of the properties which that widget can perform. So we have seen on press, on long press, and on hover. So generally you might have seen the functionality of on hover in your desktops or in website, which is nothing but whenever you provide your cursor onto the button, some text will be displayed. So here now let's try to see the on hover here. So whenever you are trying to make use of on hover here, so this is specifically for the web Flutter application. So here you can just specify update like this, and let's try to create my method update. So you can just specify the things to be taken care. So you can just pass the parameters over here and customize the options, and you can just update it according to your requirement here. So I think you understood the option of hover here. So whenever you place the cursor onto your submit button, so generally you can find this particular functionality in Flutter web. So in Flutter web tutorial we will be seeing this particular option, and for now just try to understand in this way that you need to specify a particular method like this, and inside the method you can pass parameters and you can just make use of them. Just like you can update the button color, or you can just display some information when the person hovers the particular button. And what are the other things? On focus change. And yes, these are all the things which are much more related to the web. So style, which we see in every particular widget here, and you can just implement the style and like button style over here, and inside which you can make much more customizations for this particular elevated button, just like elevation here. And one more thing you must observe is like whenever you're trying to specify any property inside the button style here, so you can, I'm just going back again. So here you can observe material state property. Yes, you need to make use of this material state properties so that the state properties are handled on all particular states here. So now material state property dot all, and here the elevation is of type double here, and inside which let us try to specify the elevation. So for now I'm just going to specify 10 here, and now try to refresh this. Here you can see an elevation of 10 is been visible, and now try to just comment it, and here you can see. So for now just try to observe this submit button only so that you can just know the change here. And I am trying to rerun this, and just observe it near the mouse cursor here. So here you can see the elevation, right? So that is what the elevation we can specify in the button style. And what are all the other things available? You can just tap on the button style, just I have said earlier, and here you can see text style here. So the text style is nothing but you can specify the fonts and sizes. So in our previous tutorial we have covered the text styles, so you can just go through them. And background color, let us specify background color here, And again, whenever you are trying to specify background color here, so here material state property, so material state property dot all, and here let us specify type to be color, and inside which let us specify colors. And now I just want to specify black here, which is on top of the list. And okay, so now let's try to save this, and here you can see it's now black color here. The background color for our button is black. And what are all the other things we have got? Foreground color, overlay color, shadow color, and yes, you can also change the shadow color here. So now let's try to change the shadow color, and you can just pause the video here and try to specify the shadow color just like we have specified a background color. So yes, I think you are successful. So material property dot all, and here let's specify color and colors dot, here let's try to specify a different color this time, and I'm going to specify this one. And here you can clearly observe the color over here, right? And now instead of black, let us try to consider a green color button. Okay, so yeah, it looks good now. And what are all the other things we have got? Minimum size, fixed size, and maximum size. So now let us try to specify minimum size here, and material state property dot all, and here let us try to specify size. And here within the size you need to provide the parameters of width and height. So for now let us try to specify 100 comma 100, and try to save this. And here you can see 100 by 100 is a square, right? So we have got a square button here, so I will just make it a 50 here. Yes, this looks good again. And the next option is like we have got fixed size here. So fixed size will overlap this one, and here let us specify size here, and inside the size I will be specifying 200 comma 100. Okay, so now let's try to save this, and here you can see the size of the button, that is width and height, has been increased. So this is with the minimum size, fixed size, and also you can specify maximum size here, that specifies the maximum size of your button. So if at all you are having any doubts of how to specify them, you can just tap on this, and here you can get to know the things like the maximum size of a button itself. A size or null value for this property means that the button's maximum size is not constrained. Okay, so you need to specify what will be the maximum size of this particular button. If you don't specify anything and it's like infinite or null, then it means that the maximum size is not constrained. So there is not any particular limit for this particular button size. Okay, the value must be greater than or equal to minimum size. So what is the minimum size over here? So 150, right? So it should be like greater than 100 in width and greater than 50 in height. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the minimum, maximum, and fixed sizes. What are all the other things we have got? It's like side we have. So what is the side and what does it do? So let's try to add it. And here you can just see border side we need to specify. Okay, so material state property dot all, and here let us specify border side, and within this what we need to do, so within the border side we need to specify a color. Okay, let's come back and specify color here, and this time what color we want to specify. So let's specify black only, so that it's white color outside and green color inside, so only black color will be visible just I'm thinking like that. So here black color is being clearly visible, if you can see here. So this looks good. And also you can just specify the text size also. Here we have not considered inside the text style, so you can just specify text style, and inside which you can specify font size to be 20. So here again you can see like it's specifying the argument text style can't be assigned to the parameter material state property. So now let's try to remove this, and let's go with the material state property dot all, and here let's try to specify that particular text style. And inside which let us try to specify font size. Okay, so in this way it will work. Okay, fine. So yeah, we need to just try this particular option so that you will get to know what are the things happening here. So when you tap on this particular text style here, it's like material state property. Okay, so if you are having any doubts, just go through this particular material state property class here. So in short, material state property is used to assign different styles for different states here. So these are all the different styles which we assign for different states. And yeah, the remaining things are like alignment, animation duration. Here you can just specify the animation duration, visual density. Okay, so these are all not mostly used, but again, if you are having any queries in this particular implementation, just let me know in the comment section below. I will try to add the code in our website again, and also the code will be available in the description section below, so you can just go through the link for the detailed code. And now the most important aspect is like how we can add an icon to this particular elevator button here. So whenever we tap on this particular button here, we don't see any icon here, so there is no parameter for icon. So how we can add an icon here? So to add an icon here, I'm just going to cut all this code here. So I'm just going to cut this code till the elevated button here, just to avoid any confusion. And here you can just specify icon. So elevated button dot icon, and this will accept an icon property now. So here you can just specify an icon, and the rest is same again. Here you can have all these properties inside this except a child. So we have used child to set the submit, that is the text, to our button, right? So now you can just specify it like label here, and yes, this also works the same. And even we have used the child to set the label, right? So here inside the icons you can just specify icons dot, let's try to specify store here, and now just try to refresh it. And yes, we have refreshed the code here, and here you can see we have got the icon now. So what are all the other things you can just do with the icon is like you can change the color here, direction, semantic label, and size. So let's try to see the color one. So colors dot, yes, you can just change the color. I just want it to be white. Okay, so white 70. Okay, that's it. And the remaining things you can just try it on yourself, like semantic label. What is a semantic label here? This label does not show in the UI. Semantic label for the icon. Okay, let's try to add this when we have a doubt. Semantic label, and this will accept a string, right? So let's specify like store, and yes, we are not able to see anything here. Semantic label for the icon announced in accessibility modes. This label does not show in the UI. which is set to a semantic label in the underlying semantics widget. Okay, so we will try to see this in other tutorial. If you know, just let me know in the comment section below. So yes, this is it for this tutorial on elevated button here, and if you are having any queries, do let me know in the comment section below, and the code for this tutorial is available in the description section below. And for more interesting tutorials on Flutter, do like, share and subscribe to our channel.